everybody, this is Jen from Scrapping Posh, and I am here with my Artistic Studio Creation Design Team haul. And not just my design team haul, but I have a rather large order that I placed before my design team package order. So I just had it shipped all at the same time, so I wanted to share it. And having said that, I think the paper should be really showcased. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this video into sections so that if you are interested in a certain paper pad, I will have the timestamp down in the bottom so that you can forward to that, because I am going to go in depth. Before I start with the paper, and I'm going to start with the Halloween paper because, yeah, October. I'll just share a couple things that I bought that wasn't paper, and it's not much in comparison, but I got some glossy accents, and my idea behind the glossy accents was that I could tape some of the chipboard that I have left over from collections that I have not used and make like charms out of them. And I'm talking mostly G45, but I've gotten some Stamperia also. I got some new sponge daubers, and I like using these for my I don't know, wood and decoupage. Let me show you. This this project is coming. It's going to be hopefully up this weekend. My little Stamperia, this is the Sweeties collection. And I'm not quite done with it, but I'm almost done with it. I've got to put the drawer pulls on, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. So I'll be sharing that with you. But these I find leave less marks. They blend better. So I went ahead and got these. And the last thing I bought was the Cheshire Cat Cora chipboard laser cut pieces. And I really enjoyed using these on my other decoupage project that I will show in the video with the other ones. So having said that, let's get into the goods. So new to ASC is Cartabella, and not my typical style. And I don't want to say that because mine varies, but definitely different than G45, Stamperia, or Ciao. But the designs and the paper, the artwork is amazing. So you get your 3x4 cut aparts. This is a good thickness. Sorry, my dog's itching. Textured paper. So it's not a little thinner than G45, but it's a matte finish, a textured finish. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like an orange peel finish. So really great images here for Halloween, and Halloween is one of my favorite holidays as far as scrapbooking and supplies and decoration goes. I don't, sorry about that, I don't typically go to parties or celebrate anything like that, but maybe I will someday. So really nice pattern on one side, a solid on the other. Super cute carts, food carts, treat carts, and a subtle spiderweb pattern on the back. I don't know if you call that subtle, just very repetitive. 4x6 cut aparts, perfect for a pocket page. And then cauldrons and witch hats. I love this cat. It's like a watercolor images, or not a watercolor image, but watercolor images on an off-white background. And this is star pattern on black. And we have banners. I'm not a fan of banners because you can't cut down this page. In my mind, I'm sure you can find a way, but in my mind you can't cut this page down unless you're gonna fussy cut these banners out, which I don't know. I mean, if you want to put like an October on the front of a mini album. I guess that would work good. Maybe I'll do an October daily. Pumpkins. I love this pumpkin. This pumpkin is my favorite. Look at that little face. It reminds me of Madison's pumpkins. Then I got a plaid and more watercolor images. It looks like here. There's quite a few pieces of paper in here now that I look at it. I should have looked. It is, of course, this is the 12 by 12 patterns, or pattern paper. And contains 12 by 12 double-sided. Seems like more. So I love the skeleton of the top hat. And then skull and crossbones. We got some cute treats, candies. On the back of that, a large check, like a watercolor check. We have some strips, border strips. That represents a lot of the things. I love this. So I figure out how to use this. And, you know, when witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers, "It is near Halloween." Super cute. And I love the candelabra, watercolor ghosties, the orange stripe. I like the orange stripe. We have a like text page with all sorts of fonts and backs. We have some more cut aparts. We have, looks like possibly 3x5s, the 4x3, which is the smaller version of the cards. Not exactly sure the dimensions of the rest of these, but, and then it comes with a sticker sheet. Sticker sheet, super cute. All the images. Here's a banner that I could use instead of cutting those out, which sounds great to me. I guess the only, I have a criticism. Maybe it's just me. Okay, there is some stark white in here. Like, here's some white. I think that may be the only white, and these are on stark white background. I think it would almost be better if it matched the off-white, but that's okay. Because, like, if I put this, let's look at this. In my mind, if I put this sticker, that very white background, on this cream, it's gonna stick out. But maybe not. Maybe that's just me. White and cream can go together. I'm not saying it can't. Okay, let's put this somewhere. I'm out of space here. Let's just go ahead and do the solids. This is a coordinating solid paper pack. It's not very expensive. So for a negligible amount of money, you get the coordinating solid cardstock. It looks like there's 6 double-sided papers. So I've got 3 different colors of orange, a dark orange, a medium orange, and a light orange, and then we'll flip over, and I've got the gray, black, and cream. So I think it's worthwhile. I have a lot of pattern paper, or a lot of solid paper. This is the same texture as the pattern paper is, and probably makes for a smoother transition. So if I was going to make a mini album out of this, I would use my smooth, normal solid paper for the structure of the mini album, but I would use this paper to break up the patterns. So the texture is the same, the colors are exactly the same, but it's just to break up a pattern. So just to give you an idea on why we would use specific pattern papers. Okay, and then even though this is probably exactly the same as the larger 12 by 12 paper, but smaller, obviously, I'm going to go ahead and flip through this because sometimes it's worthwhile seeing the differences in size. The way that I like using these is I love the cut-aparts, and you can definitely use these cut-aparts as your main image on a card, which is fun. Whereas the other ones may be a little too big. These images are like perfect. And the other reason you would want to use these is if you have a large area, like if you're going to do a mini album. If you have a large page, you would want to use the bigger pattern, and when you have smaller, like maybe a pocket or a flap, then you could use the smaller images and still see what they are. If that makes sense. Like, the smaller your area, the smaller you want your pattern, if possible. Cute little skull and crossbones. And I just want to point out that the pattern paper is actually breaking out of the pad as I flip through it, which I personally like because you know that you're not going to get that tear up at the top. That's the first one that didn't. Okay, that came out. On the back of the candelabra, kind of curious now. This is orange. Let's see. And it matches the pattern paper. Now, this paper is not textured, but again, a texture on a small pattern like that may cause it to be a little distorted. So I understand why they didn't do it. Okay, so on the back of this one, it's the candelabra paper. They just did a solid orange, whereas on the back of the actual 12 by 12, it is the borders, which makes sense because sometimes you don't need a tiny little border. Okay, and your ghosts, your stripe, your 4 by 6 cut-aparts on the other one are 2 by 3 on here, perfect for card size. And then your little cut-apart page here. And we start over again. So that is 24 double-sided papers, 12 of each. So there is the paper, and then I went ahead and got for the frames and tags and the ephemera. And they don't have as many pieces as like the G45 does. So I'll just flip through it here. Okay, so I went ahead and laid out the ephemera for you. And this is the, again, Cartabella Halloween Market ephemera. And I want to point out some really cute ones. These have, you know, different shapes. I want to call them tags. They're not technically tags, but, you know, it's ephemera. So we have, again, this one is a cutout, like, so you can use it as a frame. My favorites are this cat, because I love that cat, the skeleton, and then these cute little circles with the cat and the pumpkin, and then this one here that says the moon has awoken with the sleep of the sun, the light has been broken, the spell has begun. So I think that would be like a really cool thing to put on a flap. Actually, these large ones I think would all be neat to put on a flap. Like you have this on the outside and you flip it open and you have a picture of you know, your pet or your child or you or your whoever with their Halloween costume on or trick-or-treating. So this little pumpkin is just cute. I haven't read this one yet. It says, there is something haunting in the moonlight. So it's a very thin script, kind of hard to read. So yeah, I think all these are cute. And let's go on to our next collection. Okay, so I have to say one of the most anticipated collections from this month's releases is this Ciao Bella Moon and Me collection, because it is so different, and so I feel like I don't know, I relate to it in some way. So I wanted to share this with you guys. I got, because when I find papers that I love, I get enough to do several projects. I got the Patterns Pad 12 by 12. I got 2 of the 12 by 12 paper pads, and I don't think they're actually pads. I don't think that they're glued together, so just an FYI. So I got 2 12 by 12 paper pads. There's 12 double-sided papers in here. There's 8 double-sided papers in the pattern pad. You'll notice that the pattern pad has is a little less expensive. I did get the A4 and the 6x6, which I may get another one of these, because the 6x6 Ciao Bella always has a little different stuff in it, so that's always fun. And I ended up with some rice paper. I bought it. So let's look at the rice paper quick so I can put it up. This is a landscape, obviously. There's the moon under the sea, lots of sea creatures, and the girl who's swimming. We have the girl who's reading. Just assume it's the same girl. She's looking towards the moon with her little cat. And it looks like she's sitting in some kind of window, staring out again at the moon. There's some tree houses. This one I think is super cute. It's got fish in the sky, and then it has fish in umbrellas upside down filled with water. So how creative is that? We got some tree houses, like literally there's a tree in a cloud with a house on top of it. And then the moons and fireflies, paper boats again. And then this one is also one of my favorites. They're water balloons, I think, because there's fish in them. There's also the moon. They are water balloons. They're filled with water because here's the water line. So, and this is a nod to one of my favorite papers in the collection. So I'm hoping to do some kind of a decoupage with this one. I have at least 2 other things that I can decoupage, so kind of excited about that. So let's start with the 12 by 12, and then we'll go to the patterns pad, and then we'll go to the A4. Ciao Bella comes in a little bit different packaging. It's like a softer plastic, so it doesn't make as much noise. I don't know that matters to a whole lot of people, but just so you know. And let's look here. So the images on the front of the Ciao Bella are always usable. They're usually a smaller size pattern than what is in the collection. In this case it looks like it's a close-up, but they're always usable. These are approximately 3 by 4. They're a little less. And this big one over here is like a 6 by 8. So always usable. And then the back side's always a pattern also. So a nod to my favorite paper in the collection, and this is kind of it too. There is this cat over here looking at these fish floating, and there's another page in here that's similar. Just some really nice imaging, and you know, depending on your interpretation of the collection, it's kind of odd, but I love it. So you have the moon, the reflection of the moon, if indeed it is a reflection. And the reason I say that is because there are certain things in the water that you can't see because of the reflection. So if it was a reflection, you would be able to see this dolphin here would not be behind the moon. So is it a reflection? I don't know. And then you have these plants up here, but they're not necessarily, oops, sorry. You have these plants up here, but these are water plants falling down, which is the reflection of this down here, but these shouldn't be technically in the air. So, and then the back is a nice subtle pattern to break up all of the awesome imagery if you are using it in a mini album or scrapbook page. So a couple interesting ideas here. I'm not trying to like pick it apart, but I just love the imagery here. Tree houses, and again the girl in the window looking at the moon, and then here is the window looking at the earth. So this could actually be someone on the other side looking at her, looking at them. And then the paper hats. Okay, so this is the one I was actually talking about. Here's the cat looking at the fish in the water balloons that are tied to this rooftop like chimney. And then again you have the umbrellas turned upside down full of water, and these random fish like floating in the sky. We also have fireflies on this one, and the moon is very down in this page. And then the back, it's pretty much the same image, less the cat. Well, I don't know if it's just in case you don't like cats or what, but I guess my idea behind this one would be that you can use like this to supplement any image here, and you can use the moon by itself. And it looks like they're on opposite sides of the page, so you could technically use this moon and this moon. If you cut the page in half, you may lose a little bit of one. So just to give you an idea, 4x6 cards. The moon is the reflection of your heart, and moonlight is the twinkle of your mood. So super cute. I love the silhouette. Don't worry if you're making waves, just by being yourself. The moon does it all the time. Make a wish. And this one says, there's something enchanted about night. Super cute. You have the cat in the bird cage, wrapping time around the moon. Just really neat imagery. And on the back you have a nice pattern. You have your cut aparts on this side. All the images that I love from the paper. You have some that are more difficult to cut out, but then the light bulbs, the fish and the balloons, and the even the cage and the books look fairly simple to cut out. And then on the back, if you're not into fussy cutting, you have another night sky, which I still love. And then this is just a neat image. You have all these TVs and books and different forms of entertainment. This one I'll have to think about. I'm not sure what this is, what this makes me feel. But the fact that it makes me feel something is, I love it. I love it. Very subtle in this spray. She has this water can and it's pouring down, and there are very subtle white stars, like a tone on tone. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very nice. And then the doors. This is like, for me, this is like a nod to Salvador Dali. It has there's nothing that's really distorted like Salvador Dali may do, but it has the same kind of landscape, and the clocks. There's no ants, which I'm happy about, but it's got that surreal feeling. And then again, without the extra imaging on there. And this is just like the rice paper that we talked about. It's got the fish, the umbrellas, the tree houses, and the moon, and then this is a close-up of the moon. I bet these will punch out with a 2.5 inch punch. Different moons with sayings on them. It looks like a 2 3/4, so you probably get a 3 inch punch around there and get some of the outside. So I'm not going to go through and read all those. You can pause it here and read them if you'd like. Full moons and crescent moons. And then on the back is a black, which is the first time we've seen a black, but it plays off of the colors of the moon. We have a little different pattern here. Dolphins, cats, moons, bird cages, and clocks. Cute. And now we have some origami birds where we were looking at sailboats or paper boats before. The dolphins up in the sky versus the fish. Very nice. And then this is one of my favorites also. We have the fish in the balloons that are full of water. And then the night sky. Clocks and clocks with moons. And then this silhouette in front of this moon that looks like it's just pouring down the same stars as she was pouring. We have the rooftop with cityscape in the background, which I have no idea where that may be. Maybe Italy, since it's Ciao, I'm not sure. Super cute. Super cute paper collection. Very much like that. It's strange and unusual. They're dark colors, and I like it. So let's go to the complimentary patterns pad, is what they call it. And again, this is 8 sheets of double-sided paper, 12 by 12, versus the 12 sheets that are in the paper pad. But the nice thing is that they're different. So it's almost like having a completely different paper pad. Again, the front images you can use, and this time on the back they have some letters that you can cut out. Kind of gives me that ransom note vibe, but that's okay. And this door to the moon. They have some very large clocks with the imaging within the clocks, and then they give you some clock hands to cut out that you can use in there, which is neat. See that? A solid blue in the paper pad. There was a white or a lighter color with the same image. I think we've seen this one before or something similar. And there's the dolphins. Now this one has lighter colors, where the other one was a very dark solar system, and it may be the opposite of that one. One of my favorite pages. Looks like the balloons may be smaller in this one. And then we have a completely new image, and with freedom, books, flowers, and the moon, who could not be happy? So it gives you kind of like an idea. The moon was up, painting the world silver, making things look just a little more alive. If you strive for the moon, maybe you'll get over the fence. So, a little idea of what the artists were thinking there. I love the cat. I just can't get over it. So cats in the doorway, cats in the windows, looking out at the light bulbs, the fireflies in them, and then a nice light blue sky with clouds in it, the first time we see that. And if for nothing else at this point, you've got to get this paper pad for this piece of paper. You have fireflies in the sky in these jars with the moons. Loving that. And then another shooting star page. I don't know if it's another shooting star page. And here's your birds. And here's your fireflies. So completely different images here. And then you have a nice purple pattern that plays off this pattern paper, which is different than anything that I've seen in the paper pad. So that's it for the patterns papers for the Ciao Moon and Me collection. Okay, so then we're going to look at the A4 and the 6x6. We have the cut apart sheet, which is super cute and different from the 12x12, I believe. These tags are cute. This one has a double rivet in it. And then the back page is the duplicate of the 12x12. Same with this one. More cut aparts. Love those. The moon paper. This is interesting. So they did a like a 6. I want to say it's about 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. I'm gonna say that that's frameable. I love this collection. That's a duplicate of the 12x12. And these look like all new cut aparts, but like this was a 12x12 paper. We have the books flying away. Cute. This one's from the pattern paper. And then we have a cut apart. I think these tags may be very similar to the 12x12. So we have the fireflies and the light bulbs. Cute idea. And some more journaling tags and cut aparts. I'm just going to have to do, I think, how many of them? Cute. Some 4x6-ish. I mean, if you get the entire collection like I did, it's all different. So, and then the front, of course, you can use all of these. This is one of my favorites. Or you can use the back. So, I love how Ciao utilizes every inch of their paper. I'm really excited about the 6x6 pads because it's the artwork but smaller. So like I said before, like perfect for tags and such. So that's from the, I think this is from the 12x12 and this one's from the patterns. Super cute. The cat on the books, looking at the fish on text. This is like the Cyril Salvador Dali scenes. And this one has more detail in it. And then we have the lightning bugs in the light bulbs again. And then we have the fish on the blue text. Doors, and then the moons again. And these moons measure about 1 3/4 inches. So I think over 2 3/4 before. We have the paper origami birds. And then my favorite. I just may have to frame a piece of this and put it in front of my desk. We have the clocks and moons. The moons in the clock bases. And then the 2x3s made from like the original 4x6s on the 12x12s. Got these two patterns again. Lightning bug lamps. There we go. These two. So super wonderful. Ciao, Moon and Me collection. You have to get the whole thing. I know, I'm bad, but it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, one of my favorites yet from Ciao. Okay, I have 4 more collections, and 2 of them are Graphic 45. So this is the last non-winter collection, and this is the Graphic 45 Ephemera Queen. So that's cute. I got the 8x8 too, but we're not going to go through the 8x8 today because the 8x8 is just a smaller version of the 12x12. So first, let's pull these, and I got the entire collection. We'll start with the 12x12. And the 12x12 collection pack comes with 2 of each of the 12x12 pattern papers and 1 of the sticker sheets. And in my opinion, and I work with a lot of Graphic 45, in my opinion, the 2 of each 12x12 is enough for just about everything if you get the solids and patterns, and you always supplement us with the 8x8. Typically I don't use a lot of the 8x8, but it's nice to have that variation. So your cardstock stickers, oh, you know, these feel a bit thicker than the last ones I got. I think maybe they went back to the heavier cardstock. Interesting. So what I like about this collection, and Graphic 45 does, you know, a lot of royalty, I guess I want to say, but these, anytime it has different, like, little Forever Friends and Wisdom Begins and Wonder that you can use for cards. So let's go through the collections. And on the back they have templates. I've never used a Graphic 45 template before, but you know. So the signature page, we have a large image and some cards. So those are neat to cut. You can, you know, definitely cut those apart. There's lace in the background. The thing that I love about this paper, besides the, you know, the queens or the imagery of the ladies, is the blue, the pink, and the yellow. So the colors are, I like a lot. So on the back of that one. The B side, we got yellow roses. I'll have to brush up on my Marie Antoinette and see if yellow roses have a significance. Yellow roses on a blue background with pink, whatever kind of flowers those are, and pearls. That's called Simply the Best. We have a borders page that looks like wallpaper to me, and now the cut aparts. I'm happy they included the cards as wholes, but smaller. They look to be about 1.5 by 2 1/4, 1 3/4 by 2 1/4. A couple 4x6s, 3x2 maybe, some 4x3s, and then some borders on either side. Oh, I love that print. Definitely love that print. And then treat yourself, whatever these pink flowers are. Whoa, that is a bright green. Okay. Nice, we have all the cards full size. And on the back we have some kind of tone on tone, just different a collage of items. If the shoe fits, wear it. The corsets, the tower. So I'm going to say this is definitely Marie Antoinette. And then we have the hats, all the hats. I think they were more passionate about their hairstyle than their hats, but all part of it. We have a blue stripe, which is nice. Sorry, my dog is breathing heavily in my ear. And the kind of parts, the 4x6 and the 3x4s, which we'll see again, some of them in the ephemera cards. Okay, so let's go through the ephemera queen. We have this print in blue in the main 12x12, and then we have a solid pink. Nice tone on tone, more solids. This is the collage page. It's smaller. I think it was blue. Yeah, it was blue. And then the solid. I think we've seen this pattern before too, but it was pink. And then the green, solid green. And then the collage page, a green pattern polka dot. And then the yellow. And there's two of each. I'm kind of skipping over them. This may be the same pattern that was the green in the 12x12. So that's neat. Different patterns for you. Again, the 8x8 is the same as the 12x12, but smaller. Here is the chipboard. Here, one 6x12 sheet. And we have some tags. And I've got the glossy accents so I can make these into like charms. And then let's go through the journaling cards. We'll start with the 6x6 or the 4x6. And you get two of each. I love the blues. And I love that you get two of each because using the backs of these, let me put it straight, using the backs of these is a good way to break up the darker and like more busy colors, like that one. Okay, there's the 4x6s. We'll do the 3x4s. Le chapeau, which is French for hat. Oh, happy day. More hats if the shoe fits. Lovely lady. Forever friends. Sentiments. That's what I was trying to think when I was going through the stickers. And the dress form. And okay, everybody, so I laid out the die cuts for you, and as always for Graphic 45 you get a ton of die cuts in the Ephemera Queen Collection die cut assortment. And if you're curious about what's on the opposite side of the die cut, it is a pattern. So you've seen this pattern in the patterns and solids and in the 12x12. So if there's one that you just don't care for the color, let's say you don't like the yellows, you can always flip them over and use them this way. So there are the die cuts for you. If you want a little closer look, you can pause right here and on to the next collection. Okay, we're going to go into our winter or Christmas collections. And I have several, but since we were on Graphic 45, we will stay on Graphic 45. Again, I have the 12x12, the pattern 12x12 patterns and solids. I have the 8x8, the ephemera or journaling ephemera cards, and the die cut assortment, and the card or the chipboard tags. So let's get started. We'll start again with the 12x12. I'm going to put the 8x8 up and set it aside. I did not mention before that the 8x8 pads have 3 of each pattern paper in them. So it's good to know for you. And when I have the 12x12s, I hardly ever get through an entire 8x8 pad, and that's cool because the 8x8s are good for card making because they're smaller size. Okay, now the 12x12 collection pack comes with 2 of each of the 12x12 papers and 2 6x12 sticker sheets. And yeah, I mentioned before, these seem to be the thicker chipboard stickers that I'm used to. They included numbers 2 1s and then numbers 2 through 9 and a 0. I wish they would have included maybe all the numbers up through 25 or 31 for a December daily, but I'm not sure that's what I'm going to do with this, so maybe not. Maybe that would have been a waste. Everybody knows I got enough numbers, right? Enough letter stickers. So here are the sticker sheets, and I like that they're dark. I like the black that's added into this collection. There's also a steampunk vibe to it. If you haven't seen, Santa has little goggles on and top hats, which is cute. Nice little twist on Christmas. And you can see it again here. Top hat, goggles. So yeah, let's get started. So this is the kind of signature page that I'm used to. The Queen of Ephemera Queen was a little different. So they usually put a collage with a border around it that you could fussy cut out. The other one really wasn't a collage, it just kind of was separate. So this is what I'm used to seeing. And then we have a nice black or cream and white stripe. A collage page on a cream pattern background. And then a red background with cream lettering. And again, a lot of gears and stuff. Holly with gears with a dark background. And on the back we have a holly pattern. The cut-aparts with some of the 4x6 cards. I don't think they're 4x6. There must be like a 3x5 card. And this one includes some border strips. And it looks like we have like 2 distinct Santas here, so that's kind of strange to me, but that's okay. It's almost like we have delivering Santa, and then we have like toy maker Santa, but looks like a copper or brass train, and then you have the partridge in the pear tree that is made of the gears, and there's gears on the Christmas tree. And then a vintagey Christmas tree and Christmas present on cream. A very nice collage page that we can definitely fussy cut. Looks like we have an elf. We have the delivering Santa man. And I think this Santa has a dark skin tone, as opposed to the lighter skin tone here. So that's cool. And then we have a green on white or a green on cream just kind of a different collage. They still stuck with the ornaments there with the gears on them. And this is a neat one, this car. And then we have a close-up of that partridge with the wheels and the gear for the eye. There's a big gear on top of the tree. And then a plaid. Nice to add a plaid in there. It's a nice pattern. More cut aparts, and there are a lot of these, so nod to Christmas tags if you decorate your Christmas presents or your Christmas tags. You even have a for and a to and a from, and then a little steampunk Santa. So this collection is going to be fun to add some gears to and some steampunk elements. I have a couple different things that we can do. And then I love the cream on cream reindeer, and then the ornaments made of the gears here on a dark background, which again I love, and all gears on this page. I really like this page. So that's neat. Very unique graphic 45. Good job. Let's go to the patterns and solids. And this is the 12 by 12 patterns and solids, and I can tell right away they have some new, completely new patterns in here. Okay, so new pattern number 1, we have a cream on red gear reindeer. All the reindeers are made of tiny little gears. We have cream on red holly, which is just, it's a really pretty red. Green on, or cream on green, like sayings and words. And on the back, it's like a mottled solid. We got the check, which I love a good check. And then we have the reindeers in the black and cream. I like this black. I like that mottled kind of distressed black. And then the holly and cream black. And we have like the dark cream on cream, or maybe that's gold on cream. Maybe I've been saying it wrong the whole video. Fine. This pattern here, this solid is actually a holly pattern. Let's see. And then we have that gold on cream or dark cream on cream. Words. Now I'll show you, let's start with the chipboard. So again, super cute for tags. You can put a big ribbon and put him in there. Put him on the top. Sorry about that. I'm trying not to get the glare from the light. Okay, there's your chipboard. And let's do the cards first because they take less time. And then I'll lay all the ephemera pieces out for you. So a very cute idea with Steampunk Santa. Christmas time, season's greeting. I like that one. There's the train. Definite steampunk Santa in front of steampunk Christmas tree. And the signature page. And then let's do the 3x4s. This red is a bit more orangey than the red on the set patterns and solids. It's like not as saturated almost. But they pick it up here. That's definitely the darker red. I like that one too. And then the gold reindeer. Alright, there are the cards. Okay, so I laid out all the ephemera pieces, and I'm kind of excited because their normal cut file is basically always the same, but they just drag different images on top of them and cut them out. And these are laser cut images, just an FYI. This one's different. The clock is smaller. They have a larger 4x6. They have some frames, some tickets that weren't there before, some banners. So yeah, and on the back of these, if you're curious, is this pattern. It's the green holly leaf pattern. I like these little black and red leaves. But I think my favorite, and these are new, at least from the best of my knowledge, new, the key and the keyhole. And they have little tiny gears on them. Alright, on to the next one. Okay, now I think everybody's seen this, and this is more Christmas, but definitely non-traditional colors here, but I do love my pink and teal Christmas. So this is the Prima sugar cookies, and I just got the 12x12 pad. There are 6 double-sided designs, 4 of each page. So I did a pocket letter with a very similar collection from Bo Bunny, and I absolutely loved it. So you have the vintagey, you have rose gold, but in pink and turquoise. You have the sugar cookies and the Christmas scene. On the back, you have a lovely distressed wood grain, wood panel. And then we have 3x4 cards. Wreath deer cookies, Santa, pink Santa. Here's your winter scene snowman. Those are those fluffy cookies. They're just made of like whipped cookies or something. My daughter makes those. On the back of this is a pink and teal, or pink and blue. Not really a teal. It's a very soft blue. Cookies. And the next pattern is a repeated, almost like border, but big border strips. So those are neat. They got ice skates. It's a new design. The Santas and the deer. And then on the back of that, we have super cute little traveling houses and pink Christmas. Okay, so here is the back side of that paper. And for the first time, I'm going to zoom you in because this is super cute. We have the cars, the little Christmas trees. We have the tone-on-tone snowflakes, these little watercolor houses, and then the pink sled, and then this little group of Christmas trees here. And then we have another 2 houses, and then the pattern repeats, but it's super cute. The little car is really cute. Little car with the presents. Zoom back out. And then our next one, oh, let me flip over here. We have this large page. It gives us lots of options for just regular scrapbooking. And it has the collages already. I typically just use like the corners of these pages, but I love that snowman, and it has like a rose gold sweet Christmas cheer and some snowflakes on it. On the back side of that we have script with pink Santa and some roses, some Christmas roses with pine cones and bows. And Santa has a pink candy cane. Super cute. I love the snowman. So you have a little snowman in green, one in pink, and then this wreath with the roses, and then some rose gold text and snowflakes in the back. And then your collage pages that Prima loves to do, and I love the music on these. So you can definitely take a chunk out of these pages, and you have enough pages to do that. You got 4 of each. I believe the last page, yes, is this cute reindeer. I had a little chipboard wooden veneer reindeer that went perfect with this, or not reindeer, but deer, and I used them on something else, on the Cosmos, no, the Moonchild collection from Prima. The presents have little rose gold dots, and the back side of that one is a white and pink ivy, a pink ivy on white. Right there is the Prima Sugar Cookie collection. I think it is a beautiful collection to add to your Christmas stock. Speaking of adding to our Christmas stock, Ciao has 2 Christmas/winter options that I really love. So this is called Northern Lights, and it is more traditional Christmas colors, reds and greens. It has the 1 through 25 count page. This is the patterns pad. This is the paper pad. I also have the A4 and the 6x6, and I'll flip through each one because with Ciao you get a little different every time. So we'll start with the 12x12 paper pad. And I think I know somebody who will really like this collection because it has cardinals in it. So some of the characteristics of this collection is, of course, the snowmen, cardinals, northern lights, of course, and it looks like you got some, like, stars and such. I only got 1 paper pack, so I'm going to have to be picky. And I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to use that side, or most of that side. We have, well, it depends on what's in the other paper packs, I guess. We have some border strips. I love this because it's almost patriotic. It's got the red, white, blues, and some creams, but still Christmassy. And I love this snowman page. Here's our Northern Lights page. And it has the silhouetted deers here, so that's nice. And then on this side, it's the Northern Lights with the snowman looking up. Now, this is going to present a problem for me if I use this for a mini album because of the size of this page. I love this red again. It's that really dark, deep red with a white snowflake. And then we have a snowman and birdhouse collage page. Okay, but you have to see the snow dog, right? Do you see him? Super cute. I need about 4 more snow dogs. It's the regular pattern, and then we have all the cardinals with birdhouses. Definitely, you know, thinking of this person who loves cardinals. I love this pattern, or this page. It makes me think of the quilt, a quilt. So, and they included the snow dog. So you put a dog on a collection and I'm gonna love it, really. Okay, we have a stars and wood with a plaid at the top. And then a nice big, again, open in the middle, ready to go collage here. So for something like this, I'll probably cut or use the sides. And we have a nice snow. It's light blue with snow drops. But I'll probably use these because they are cute. What size are these circles? You're looking at about a 3 3/4 inch circle again. And then we have the birdhouses in between. Not so sure about like the sled here, but I'm gonna think this one and this one and this one we can probably punch out with a round hole punch without ruining too much there. I have a green plaid, more cardinals. I don't know if this would be a good, like, is this my cover page if I use a mini? Maybe. We have a green with a white snowflake. And the snow dog again. I love it. Wow, this is going to be really hard to decide. I really like this one too. It's like a cream background. We have little red plaid hearts with the holly. And then your hot cocoa. This snowman kind of freaks me out. Just saying. And then the cardinals there. Northern Lights. It has the name of the collection on it. And then the back of the front page. Of course you can use this, any of these. Okay, so I like it. The snowmen were having a picnic before the Northern Lights thing. And then at the bottom they have these cut apart. So super cute. That's the pattern paper, or the, I'm sorry, that's the paper pad. Make sure you know which ones you're getting. And then the next we'll go through the 12 by 12 pattern pad. The 12 by 12 pattern pad's a little less expensive because it has less paper in it. This is 12 sheets of double-sided paper for the paper pad, and the pattern pad, or the pattern paper, has 8 sheets. So let's open him up, and we can see already that we have some totally different ideas here, and some totally different images too. Okay, so again, the front cover, I always use these images, and then on the back of that they have the letters, which they always do, and then we have some candy canes. We have some 6x6 panels, which would be neat on tiles, Christmas presents. But I like the back sides too. That'll be a problem. So we've seen these guys before, but on a smaller scale. So they just blew them up, and then in the background they have some unique snowflake tone-on-tone shapes, if you can see those. And then you have the darker wood grain with the stars and the green plaid. Here's your December daily numbers if you choose to December daily this. Which, how much fun would it be to make a December daily for somebody else? Like grandma or grandpa. We got some really earthy leaves or wreaths with some oranges, like those. Stamps. I really like the stamps. And then like a green. Before this was the blue with the white snowflakes. This is like a green with a white snowflake. Really big clocks. And if you don't want to use it as a clock, you can always use some of these numbers around here. You can cut this circle out, and you can also just cut him out too. Use these numbers just to change it up a little bit. And a brown plaid. Is it red or brown? I'm thinking that's brown. Neat. Northern Lights, wintertime, cold season, like an entire page of the cardinals and birdhouses, and top hats made into birdhouses. A blue with a star, and then the constellations. This is the one that I've seen when I said constellations. And then your snow globes. This image here is pretty much all new. I haven't seen him before. I don't think I've seen him before. He's a new one here, and I'm pretty sure that is Sherlock Holmes. That is Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes right there. I'm gonna say it is. Okay, so there's the pattern paper. Definitely worth splurging and getting the pattern paper to give you more options, because they are all different. So I think that it's nice that they do that. It's almost like having a, if you ever did a kit, like I was a member of Studio Calico Kit for a long time, even though I really didn't scrapbook that much, I still have the kits. It's almost like getting the adder. So, and again, the A4 is going to be different again, so it's always exciting to get all the different size papers because they're all a little different. This image is just super cute, watercolor. It's got cardinals all over it, and then you have the who I deemed Watson and Sherlock Holmes there. I don't know if that's who it is or not, but snowman version. Okay, so we got a little bit different here. Here's the red plaid with the lighter wood grain, and then some cut aparts here that are the back of the front page. 4x6s. And the red wood grain. You have cut aparts on this side. There's my little doggy. And then you have the, I think this is a smaller version of that collage page, or just pattern page. We got these round wreaths again with some stamps, so you definitely have some of the same elements here. I don't believe we've seen these tags before. There's your constellation page. It is smaller than the 12x12. Some long tags, which again, I don't think we've seen these. We've seen the images, but not those images on tags. And again, perfect to tag your presents with if you wanted to go with a theme. We've seen that pattern in the 12x12. Some journaling cards and ephemera cards. This one has the Northern Lights on it. The brown plaid. Some large scenes. There's the snowflakes. There's my little dog. Just some of the scenes repeated in large postage stamps. And there's the smaller postage stamps. And you have the pine cones and some more cut aparts on the back, including some tags. Okay. And last but not least, because again, I love the 6x6 paper pads. They make me happy because they're small and cute. And it leaves me with lots of ideas as far as tags and album pages and pockets and swings and things that you can do with smaller patterns. So there's the first one. And this is a repeat. These were 6x6s, of course, in the 12x12. We have a tiny stamp pattern. There's that pattern again. This one they kept a little bigger because you wouldn't have been able to see it if they shrunk it down to that size. And some constellations of different size. It makes me happy that they included numbers at a different size to give us some variation if we wanted to use this for a December daily. Totally got you guys off that thing. So this one's very similar to the 12x12. I haven't came across a difference yet. These punches are a little over 1 3/4 if you want to punch these out. Pine cones, small version of the scene. It's your dark green, your wood grain with your green plaid. There's your green plaid. You have some smaller cut aparts, 3x2s. And there you go. So this one, maybe we did see that one before. But anyways, this one's not so different, but it's still, like I said, worthwhile to have different options for your sizes of your pattern papers. And some of these are just frameable, so definitely you could tile these, 6x6 tiles. Super cute. So one more collection, guys. We're almost done. Okay, my last Christmas collection or winter collection is Frozen Roses by Ciao, which having this as my last collection makes me realize that I don't have any Stamperia or Stamperia winter collections. They did come out with a new rendition of Pink Christmas, but I already have the Pink Christmas, so it is a little different, but check that out if you're into Stamperia, whatever. And yeah, so we have again the paper pad, the pattern pad, the A4, and the 12x12s. We will start once again with the paper pad. This has 12 of each. 12x12 double-sided pattern papers. And this one is more red and white with like a mossy green. So I do like that. And why, besides the white fuzzy thing on the front, is completely why I bought this collection. And the white fuzzy thing on the front is a something, but it's essentially like a white weasel, which he's so cute. He reminds me of my puppies because he's all white. We got some realism here, and then we have some not realism, but I do love the color. Red, dark red, again, my dark red, and the moss green go great together. On the back of the front page, this is part of the realistic stuff. We have trees, we have a realistic statue with red greenery, reddery in the back, I don't know. And this is just a collage with some different distressing and crackling. I wonder if the snow loves the trees and fields that it kisses them so gently and then covers them up snug with a white quilt. Well, that's kind of deep. But okay, whatever. Here's the weasel. I love the weasel. He's not as cute as the front weasel. I think the front weasel is a baby front weasel, but there's a tree and a bridge. Got this distressed, it almost looks like a red rose wallpaper. And the like wall is crumbling behind it, which is kind of sad, but love this deep red. Distressed crackle. Roses again. Now here you have a little collage. You have some books, some ladies' gloves, a pair of glasses. They don't necessarily look like ladies' glasses, but maybe in the back in the day. Like one of these, I don't know what you call them, glass globy cover things, and then some candles. Another distress. This bird, I don't know what he is. He like a sparrow? I have no idea. He looks kind of mean. He looks kind of sinister. Sorry guys, I'm getting tired. This is like my 6th or 7th paper collection. He's pretty cute though. Got some architecture here. Some kind of parts. Chocolate covered oranges. Tea. Lanterns. More of these glass globy things with stuff in them. There he is. He's cute. I like this moss with the snowflakes on it. Roses. Big roses. Look at the reindeer. And the gazebo. Got a box. I like this page. I like the white roses. More architecture. And then outside furniture covered in snow. Just like Ohio. Do people who don't live in places that snow like scrapbook or make mini albums with snow stuff? Just curious. Let me know. I'm curious. I'll put that question up in the group. The ASC supplies group. By the way, head on over to ASC supplies on Etsy. ASCcraftsupply.com. And, oh, more numbers. Exciting. Use Scrapping Posh 10 for 10% off your normal price purchase if you have sale items in your cart. You may place 2 separate orders and they will combine shipping on the orders if you message them at checkout. Just saying. Oh, okay, so this is the pattern paper, and there are 8 12 by 12s. You got this cute weasel guy, and of course you can use the front page images, but on the back they always give you a nice image, and this is like wood grain with some music notes and just a nice collage, and then they always have letters on the pattern paper. Mr. Weasel, they use the clocks again, but you don't have to use them as clocks. You can cut them apart, use these Roman numerals if you're going to do a December daily. This is different. You got some geometric not prisms, cubes on top of your crackled background. That's a framed page, 12 by 12. And a collage, some birds. It's the pattern, repeating pattern. I do like these. I like I like the dark red, but even on the green, I like the text on the back. It says, so when the fall came to pass, the buds would something their time and burst again. So we're talking about roses, buds. Just in case. Some doors. I think they're doors, like close up of a door. Some not quite 6x6s. These are 2x2s. And these have the numbers on the back. So super cute. Like I said, and I will say it again, well worthwhile to get the, like, add on the paper pad, the patterns. Okay, and then we have the A4 here. Usually a little bit different. Okay, let's go through the A4. Of course, on the front of the A4, you have these cut parts here. Going to have to use him, of course. And then on the back, we have just a pattern that we've seen before and some more journaling cards. Some 4x6-ishes. And then the nice green with the snowflake. We have some cut parts. And some tags that we haven't seen before. These are nice for like ATC cards, if you're going to use those. A nice little label there if you want to label your album. And one of my favorites is the text on rad. Some more of these little sayings. My little cute guy there. And that pattern again. I think these birds are a bit bigger than the pattern on the 12x12. Tags. Some cut aparts or journaling cards. I think this is Mama Weasel. The pattern paper. This is one of my favorites too. It's the green pine cones with the white roses on text. Got some scenes here. And then the roses. And more cut parts on the back. And one left, you guys, the 6x6. Already opened it. So this is a double of the 12x12. Same with this one. These images are going to be like 3x3s instead of 6x6s. Smaller patterns, always nice. The smaller bird pattern. The door or the architectural pattern. Love the wheel. There's the bridge and the realistic tree in the back. I like this size of this architecture piece here. Some cut parts and circle punched things you can circle punch. This is a nice pattern when it's small. Another pattern. Roses. There's your bird. There's the cutest little guy ever. My favorite pattern. And there we are. So I hope everybody enjoyed this very long haul. Don't be surprised if I don't get a couple more Christmas paper pads. Not that I need them. But maybe I'll do some pre-made items for my Etsy shop, which is Scrapping Posh. I'll go ahead and link that down below if you guys are interested in checking out some of my stuff. I do a little bit of everything, so don't be surprised if it's not all what you expect. And yeah, so head on over to ASC Supplies. Again, this is my ASC Supplies haul slash big purchase. I splurged a little, which is okay every once in a while. Use Scrapping Posh 10 for 10% off your regular price items. If you have regular and sale price items, do 2 separate orders. Use the coupon codes for both. And at checkout, tell them that you have 2 orders. They will combine shipping for you. So, if you have any questions, please leave them below. And also, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. It was fun for me. I hope you all stick around, comment, like, and subscribe to see what I make with all this wonderful goodness. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for hanging out.